They say Peru is Machu Picchu. They say it's Lima's ceviche bars and Cusco's cobblestone streets packed with tourists clutching their guidebooks like secret texts. They're wrong. Deep in Peru's northern highlands, where the Amazon begins its slow climb towards the sky, there's a place the tour buses don't go. A place where the clouds don't just pass through, they live here. Where ancient stone fortresses emerge from mist like fever dreams, and waterfalls drop from heaven into a green so deep it hurts to look at. This is Peru's lost cloud kingdom, Chachapoyas. The cloud warriors who built this place, gone for centuries. Their secrets buried in ruins that make Machu Picchu look like a warm-up act. But their kingdom remains wild, untouched. So forget everything you think you know about Peru, because what we're about to discover will change the way you see this country forever. Welcome to Chachapoyas. So we started this video not in Chachapoyas, but in the same region, in the beautiful village of Leimebamba, where there's a very special museum actually. We are about 30 kilometers from Chachapoyas, the main town of the Amazon, and the capital of the Amazon province here in northern Peru. And we came here for a very special reason. There's a museum that I think is well worth stopping here. It's very unique and it can be a bit controversial. And let me explain you why. So now we are in the middle of nowhere, Peru. Literally in the middle of nowhere, Peru. And the reason this museum is here is because 40 kilometers from this town, give or take, there's a lagoon, there's a natural lake, and there they found human remains of around 200 mummies that were preserved there, and they were very, very well preserved. So they were discovered in the 90s, and people trying to steal what was in the tombs, etc., etc. They decided to take all the mummies and put them in this museum. That's why this place might be a bit difficult if you are sensible to those kind of things, because you can see the mummies in here. Before you see the mummies, you have a couple of big rooms where they explain the Chachapoya culture, which is predecessor to the Inca, by the way, how the Inca also conquered this region before the arrival of the Spanish. And you can have a bit of that historical context. Now, we're going to see the mummies. So if you want to skip it, you can skip it now until the second I show you on the screen. If you are interested in that and you're not sensible, you can keep watching because it's very, very interesting. The Chachapoyas believed death was just another stage of life. Their loved ones became ancestors, protectors who continued watching over the living. This room at the museum shows exactly that. How they wrapped them carefully in textiles, bundled them facing east towards the rising sun, and placed them in cliff tombs where they could guard the community below. These mummies were discovered in the 1990s, scattered by grave robbers. The people of Leimebamba fought to bring them home, where they rest now as they were meant to, honored, protected, and is still very much part of the story. For the Chachapoya, the dead never really left, they just changed address. I am pretty impressed with how this museum is structured. I have the feeling it's done with quite a lot of respect and showcasing the mummies, but so like in a way that it will help you learn and understand the old culture instead of just showing them for the show, let's say. And here outside, this is a reproduction of how they found the mummies. So they found them in this like structure built on purpose to house the mummies, and they were put in those bags. Inside would be the bodies would be inside. Cheers. That was a great museum actually. And okay, it's in the middle of nowhere, it's quite hard to get here. But the road from Cajamarca to here is one of the most beautiful and most scary ones I've ever seen in my life. And so today we have the second leg of it. Just now we're taking the bus, after lunch we're taking the bus to Chachapoyas, which is the main topic of this video.
I never really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know.
We finally arrived yesterday to the town of Chachapoyas, and here in this region we are visiting today one of the highest waterfalls in the world. This one is called Goka. But yeah, we decided to start with this. It's not maybe the highlight of the region, although it's very popular, because after 2 days on those terrible passes and doing a lot of hours, we needed to walk a bit and we needed to hike.
Talk to you and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart so slow.
So this place would obviously be known to the locals because they would see it from the village. You can easily see it from there. But they wouldn't go to the waterfall because they felt it had a religious meaning, and they thought it was hola, and they thought there was spirits there, so they wouldn't go there. And this place was only discovered in 2002 by a German tourist, hola, and put into value by him. And in 2006 the National Geographic reported on it, and then tourists started coming here. And when tourists started coming here, the whole village changed. They had a lot more people coming in, and the economy of the village changed from being mostly agricultural and a very rural community to being more focused on tourism. After the tourists started coming here, the community and the ministry in Peru, they decided to build this walk and build this sort of like trek to access the waterfall, because before they wouldn't come here. So this is the trek that we're following now. It's pretty recent. It's only like, what, 20 years, something like that. It's incredible to think that this wasn't discovered until recently.
I guess I'll never know. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know.
We made it, almost. Look at that. Wow. Wow, look at that. Can I make like I'm drinking from it? Ah! So the waterfall is incredible, but it's not only that. All the surroundings around it, look at that. The massive wall, the small waterfall, the lush forest, and finally the canyon and the small river. And one more time on this trip, solo. Totally solo. Look at that. The lunch just arrived, and I want to share something with you about this place, this restaurant. It is a bit weird, and let me show it to you because it's quite unique. First of all, is the best piece of art I've ever seen in my life. Look at that. How beautiful is that? And the second thing is, well, this video is already a bit controversial. I've shown mummies, I've shown skeletons and whatnot. Look at this. They prepare their own alcohol here, right? And you can get coca leaves, or you can get some other kind of things. But you can also get bug liquor, or you can get snake liquor. Where is it? Here, snake. Tasty. Quap, finally here. How we decided to come here is a bit of a silly story. It all started with an Instagram reel, actually. You know, you Google, you put on Instagram Peru, and then you get different reels and different stories. And it appeared this one in Spanish about Chachapoyas and all this region. And the first thing it spoke about was Quap. And I was impressed. I was like, fuck, that looks very nice. So after that we started planning this trip. I'm like, oh, how difficult is this to come there? And as it turns out, it's pretty difficult, but we managed to do it, and we're finally here. And to be honest, I'm so glad we did, because just before coming here, the journey to come to Chachapoyas has been such an adventure, such nice places we have seen. So, and this is just the cherry on top of these northern Peru adventures. The first thing you see when you arrive here are the walls of the old town or fortress of Quap. It's still not very clear if it was a town or a fortress. And unfortunately, a couple years ago, there was one part of the wall that collapsed, and they had to close this site for, I'm not sure how long, but a few months for sure. And now you can visit most of it. There's still some repairs going on to secure that part of the wall that collapsed.
Aquí hay dos personas, dos serpientes, pero con la cabeza antropomorfa, o sea, cabeza humana. Estaba de la fortaleza. Entonces el grupo que invadía entraba como una película, pero hay de uno en uno, vea cómo se caen todas, y algunas, bueno, un poquito baladas.
Welcome to Quap. This place is older, is higher up in the mountains, and is more extensive than Machu Picchu. And this is the main reason why we came to the north of Peru, to see this place. First impressions, I am really impressed. The conservation is fantastic, and thinking that this is from the year 600, this is when this fortress was created. It's just, I'm speechless. 505 house-like structures have been found here in Quap. That's why they think this is not a fortress, and more like a citadel where people actually used to live. Around 3,500 people used to live here, apparently. And the view you get is just mind-blowing. We are at 3,000 meters above sea level, and this is the view you get. Not a bad one for the old Chachapoya. I haven't been in Machu Picchu, but here the group 12 people, and there's two groups, 24 people plus the guides. How can Machu Picchu be any better than this? We'll find out in a later video, but I find it hard to believe. This is really good. Considering how old it is very well preserved. You can see the buildings here, the walls there in the distance that we used to surround the whole city, and then the view. There are three main entrances here to Quap. There's one here, and there's another one over there. So back in the day, this was used to store animals, to store cattle here, because it was very easy to just block three entrance points rather than building a whole wall around the cattle field.
se nota claramente los tres niveles. Me había estado olvidando, pero felizmente. Mira, hay otro de.
So we're leaving through the third entrance. You come in through one, you see another one, and you leave through the third one. Beautiful. I am so happy that we made it here. The trip to come to Chachapoyas is a hassle, is not easy, and even to come here to Quap, it's sort of a nightmare. You need to book it with an agency, and it takes long and whatnot. But if you want a proper experience, no people, ancient civilization, beautiful ruins, come here. I can't say anything else. Come here. It's beautiful, it's big, and you'll be basically on your own. I haven't been yet in Machu Picchu, but I don't think you'll get the same experience there. We'll see how it goes in a couple of weeks, but this... Come on. I'm happy. Even better, this region also has more to see than the waterfall that we saw yesterday. And Quap, there's also more ruins and more, especially funerary monuments of the Chachapoya culture that we'll see tomorrow as well. So don't leave the video just yet, because there's more coming. And if you like it, now it's a good moment to leave a like and subscribe. Maybe. Why not? Support this small channel. So this is the last place we are visiting here in the Chachapoyas region in the north of Peru, and it's a very special one as well, rediscovered recently. And to go there you have to walk a small path, and you can see here what they cultivate is on one side the most common crop here in Peru, which is the corn, and on the other side the other one, which is potatoes. So just here, one field next to the other one, and you can see both of them. If you're lazy here too, you can take a horse. If not, you can walk. So while we're going there, let me explain you what we are visiting. It's called the Sarcófagos de Carajía, or the sarcophagus of Carajía. These sarcophagus, they still have mummies inside, and they were done around the 15th century by the Chachapoyas culture, the same culture that the Quap that we visited yesterday. Because of how inaccessible these sarcophagus are, we are literally in the middle of nowhere. And because of their size and where they are located, that protected them against looting and people trying to rob all the stuff that was inside. And then in 1985, they were rediscovered by a Peruvian archaeologist and further studied. As you can see that here, there's a small trek that you need to descend to arrive to them, and this was obviously not built when they rediscovered them. So you can see them up there in the middle of the mountain. How the hell did they arrive there? It is incredible. I'll try to find some stock footage because you can't see it from here with the action camera. But it is incredible how they put in there. Each one measures 2 meters, 15 centimeters or so. And if you can see it, there's a skull on top of one of them. And before, every one of them used to have a skull. Main theory is it's a war trophy, the head of the enemy that they sacrificed and they put on top of the skull. It is amazing. How did they put that in there? I think this is a fantastic place to end the video, and I hope you enjoyed the video and the region of Chachapoyas. I was not expecting the variety, the amount, the beauty of this place, and how little touristy it is, to be honest. So thanks for watching. See you again in the next video. I hope you enjoyed it.